Let me go on to NARA and the politics of obstruction, because that is the genesis of my deliberation. I've looked at this and I've written extensively on it. I'm just sharing my thoughts with you. The political resistance to the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority is less about the substantive accountability concerns and more about strategic electoral calculus. The opposition and allied civil society groups recognize that NARA's successful implementation would deliver visible large-scale reconstruction financed by an unprecedented $6.7 billion package. If that happens, or when it happens, it is going to bolster the governing party's credibility on delivery and economic resurgence ahead of the elections. Consequently, the public criticisms of the bill's centralization, and when you talk about the bill's centralization, you're talking about the Prime Minister driving the process. He is going to be the minister responsible. The obstruction of the opposition is designed to deny the government a signature achievement and making their arguments appear counterproductive to the national recovery effort they claim to protect. NARA, the politics of obstruction. And I'm going to show you over the next couple of minutes how disaster recovery becomes the electoral strategy for 2020, 2030. The strategy for the next election is right before your eyes. NARA, the politics of obstruction. Firstly, NARA converts disaster into electoral capital. I want you to know that. NARA converts disaster into electoral capital. Hurricane Melissa should have been a breaking point for a third term. Hurricane Melissa should have been a breaking point for a third term government. After 3 straight electoral defeats, the People's National Party's path back to power depended on a simple law of politics: incumbency fatigue. Not failure, the desire for change. Powerful psychologically. Hence, time comes. You notice that opposition parties love the change cliche. Time for a change. Better must come. Time come. Because naturally voters grow tired. Problems accumulate. And the disaster exposes the state's weakness. The devastation of Melissa left a $12.2 billion in assessed damage. These are the conditions under which oppositions win. Voter fatigue and a $12.2 billion damage. The country mash up. A government strained for resources and a public primed for change. The government would be under tremendous pressure to win the election. I don't care how rock stone labor right you are. But NARA converts disaster into electoral capital. What NARA did, it shattered the equation. Let me tell you, labor rights, something. And I know a lot of you listen to this program. You will not be able to better Holness as a leader. Can't better him. He is top notch. Top notch. NARA shatters every hope the PNP had of challenging for a break in the Labour Party's electoral success. I could call the election right now, but I'm just waiting on something. I test it out, The government, by securing $6.7 billion from the IMF, World Bank, IDB, Caribbean, CAF, and CDB, the largest development financing package in Jamaica's history. Never before have we gotten so much money to spend. And it bond it bond the comrades them, it bond comrades. Sorry, Mr. Man, you see, Uno must be careful. Uno must be very careful. God not sleep, We say bond them subtle. The Prime Minister is executing it. Same Andrew Holness. Want to try to tear down. Same Andrew Holness that want to try to destroy in the last election is going to lead the most massive reconstruction of his country in the history of Jamaica. Wow. NARA is not another ministry. It is a single branded delivery pipeline that fast-track procurements, prioritizes projects, and ties every new road, school, etc. into the executive, directly to the executive. In electoral terms, that means ribbon cutting, then just a walk a cut ribbon. You think you see ribbon a cut yet? Lord Jesus, wait a little bit. You don't see nothing yet. Wait a little bit. Then just a walk a cut ribbon. Right before the next poll, the bill converts the ethics of intention into the ethics of result. For a government seeking a fourth term, that is the difference between blame and credit. NARA converts disaster into electoral capital. Then there's a walk a cut ribbon. Bridge bill, then there's a cut ribbon. New schools and hospitals, then there's a walk a cut ribbon. New roads, then there's a walk a cut ribbon. Man, I get new house, roofs, then there's a walk a cut ribbon. My God, NARA converts disaster into electoral capital. Then there's a walk a cut ribbon. Secondly, for the PNP, NARA is an existential threat to the time for change doctrine. The opposition strategic problem is structural. NARA's design sidelines the very institutions where the PNP exerts influence. Many of you probably may not even understand this, but it is true. Parliament, standing committees, the line ministries, by consolidating project preparation and execution, the authority moves the locus of competence from the legislator to the executive. If it works, the government owns the story of efficiency. If it is delayed, the government owns the story of urgency against obstruction. The NARA bill is a master stroke. It's a master political move. My God, when I saw that today, I said, "Are so wholeness good?" This is why the opposition objections cluster around the process. This is why they are so worried. Not going to say much on that because I don't want to open too much eye. But after 3 defeats, the PNP cannot afford to let the Jamaica Labour Party campaign on competence. Cannot. Its only viable strategy is to slow delivery. That is the only strategy the PNP has. Fragment the credit that the government will get and keep incumbency fatigue alive as the dominant political law. And if you support NARA, it means risking the label of obstruction. It's a trap that has been set for the PNP. Boy, I tell you, opposing NARA means risking the label of obstruction. The PM set a trap. And it's not an accidental trap. I am sorry if I have to be revealing this to you. I haven't spoken to the Prime Minister, but I've seen it. The PM has set a trap for the PNP. And they have walked into it, which is why the Labourites who are criticizing Marlene don't understand politics. Ease up there a little bit. A trap set. It is a philosophical outcome of the bill. Sovereignty of execution replacing deliberate delay. I saw the bill design. And it will pass. Wow. Let me show you that the pattern of pushbacks reveal political strategy, not political oversight. The timing and alignment of criticisms betray the strategy. Because the loudest alarms from the opposition MPs and places like the Gleaner emerged only after 2 facts became public. First, the size of the multilateral financing package. The opposition start to bawl when they hear much money we're going to get to borrow. And secondly, the Prime Minister's framing of the bill as one of the most consequential bill in modern Jamaica. So the bawling start when they hear how much money and when they hear the Prime Minister say the bill is the most consequential in modern Jamaica. Before Melissa, the PNP could hope that fiscal strain would do its work. After Melissa, and with NARA funded, the opposition case had to shift from outcomes to procedure. Yet here is the disappointing truth. No opposition actor no MP, not the leader of the opposition, has tabled a comparable, fully financed recovery vehicle. None of those civil society groups have suggested any structure that delivers equal speed with more oversight. The demand is always for more committees, more bureaucracy, more consultation, mechanisms that in practice postpone the very reconstruction milestones that would have occurred before an election. Let me wrap this up. Melissa gave the PNP its best chance in a decade. Melissa gave the PNP its best chance in a decade. A crisis that could have exhausted the government. Nara took the chance away. After Melissa, there was an opening for the opposition. That's politics. Nara took the choice away. The only chance the PNP had is removed. See with them. See with the comrades them. They are heartbroken. There is weeping and mourning and gnashing of teeth because they are not likely to succeed at the next election. If Nara works well, the PNP loses seats. It will not even win 28, no matter how hard it tries. The politics will change. 89 Old Hope Road may very well become the proverbial museum as predicted by Currency Morrison. Nara took the chance away, and the PNP knows it. But that's how life go. Uno say Andrew Holness caused the hurricane. The bill's financing and structure gives the administration resources. It gives the government resources and it gives the government agency. And resources and agency are two assets incumbents typically lose by term 3. In doing so, it rewrites the moral imagination of the next election. The question is no longer, are you tired of this government? That's not the question that will be asked. The question is, who can rebuild your country? The question for the next election is not, you tired of it? No, but can they rebuild? And the opposition knows this. They know this. And that's why the arguments against Nara read as counterproductive. They have to prioritize institutional leverage over national delivery and processes over projects, precisely because successful delivery would validate the government's claim to a 4th term. In the politics of disaster, he who controls the reconstruction controls the next election. No question about that. Learn that, neighbors. In the politics of disaster, he who controls the reconstruction controls the next election. Nara ensures that control sits with the Prime Minister. And let me tell you something about this Prime Minister. He is not going to drop this ball. I can tell you that. This Prime Minister non drop the catch here. That is why Marlene's intervention on Tuesday was such a golden opportunity. PM Holness is on top of the game. NARA ensures that control. The pushback, therefore, is not a defense of democracy. It is a defense of the opposition dwindling path to power. I'll tell you more about that when next I speak to you from the pages of the notebook. Repeat, the pushback from Bunting, from Paulwell, from Crawford, from all of them, is not a defense of democracy. It is a defense of the opposition's dwindling path to power. And every day that NARA is delayed, the opposition wins. The day NARA pass, you can write off the opposition's path. There's no path to breaking the electoral strides of the Jamaica Labour Party. That's how I see it from the notebook. Join me again next time when I turn the pages of the notebook and tell you what's on the neighbor's notes. Thank you so much for staying with us tonight.